just so, not amazing, but it's just so, gratifying to know that we had right here, the Virginians, right here in St. Croix, Santa Cruz, we had one of the greatest labor leaders ever. And that person was, David Hamilton Jackson. Now we could speak of a whole bunch of other great labor leaders throughout the Caribbean, and there were some great labor leaders throughout the Caribbean, and we need to learn about those too. We learn about these people. We don't really learn about them in school. I had to learn about them after school, after I left school and whatnot on my own. But throughout the Caribbean, there were some great, labor leaders, and actually, some of these labor leaders went on to become political leaders and even like prime ministers, premiers of their home countries and this type of thing. But other islands, you had what were called or known as guilds, which is GUILDS, guilds. And the guild wasn't really a union. The guild was an organization of workers, but it was workers who were all doing the same thing. Like, for example, a guild of carpenters, a guild of mechanics, a guild of printers. As a matter of fact, in Jamaica, one of the very first guilds that was organized was a guild of printers. And of course, we know, and this was in the late 1800s, and that guild could not have been very large, because, how many printers, and especially black printers, would you have had, in any one of these islands in the late 1800s? And the thing about these organizations, there were some unions that get started and organized in some of the other islands, but the problem was that they were not legal. They were not really organized, and so that whenever they tried to rally the people, and the establishment, the business owners and the politics and the government would get down on the union, they would simply disband, because they were not organized in any formal way. So they would just simply disband. So the Caribbean were legally, given the legal right to organize. And that was Marishall's name. You have people from Barbados like Grantley Adams. In Trinidad you had Arthur A. Cipriani, and he's another person that you might have heard his name mentioned in these old Sparrow calypsos and whatnot. And then you also had another Trinidadian right after Cipriani named Uriah Butler. And Butler is usually, when you read about him in Caribbean history, he's usually characterized as a radical, but he was a labor union leader. And you had other leaders, in Jamaica, people like Alexander Bustamante, Norman Manley. In Antigua, you had the Veer Board, and we still, there's still a whole lot of people alive who are familiar with the Veer Board and his family, his sons, who eventually became Prime Minister of Antigua in more later years. You had St. Vincent, Ebenezer Joshua. St. Kitts, you had Robert Bradshaw. Powerful man, Bradshaw, boy. One of the labor leaders, I heard a lot of stories about. I really admired him. I like his style. As a matter of fact, he was a very good friend with Cyril King, our late Cyril King here, the late Governor Cyril King. You have people like from St. Kitts, Robert Southwell. You had Guyana again in more modern times, Chedi Jagan, who's of East Indian ancestry. And then you even had people like Forbes Bonham, even though Forbes Bonham started out in unions, and then he became eventually the leader for Premier of Guyana, led Guyana to a labor leader in British Guyana. And there are many more names that can be called, but I will just leave it there now. And we are going to turn our attention to some more business here. In the studios, we have with us Sister Shalima Edwards, and she's going to speak a little bit about the UMOJA Caribbean Union and the activity that was held this past Monday in Frederickston.
Yes, greetings, and thank you, Pikey, for having me on and doing a little something different. So that the laboring of our ancestors are not to just be looked at as something awful that we can't, as their descendants, benefit from. So they labored, the oppressors or colonizers benefited as a result of what they produced. So we have an opportunity to labor and benefit us. And the significance of the crops then, cane, as was mentioned during slavery time, a lot of Caribbean islands could relate to that, that there were a lot of sugar cane plantations. And then with the corn part of it, it is something that a lot of Caribbean people use. Corn can be used in making fungi or corn meal, where I feel we were not alone, in the sense that our ancestors were present. I felt that the little that showed represented the many of our ancestors who were on the sugarcane plantation laboring. So with the music sound, the libation, with the remembrance of them, the people who were under, I think we were there because they needed us to be there to set the tone for what is to come. So I want to thank the instrumentalists, Kilimanjaro band, Olu, Brother Sam, Ayami, who also did the dub, poetry dub, and of course the discussion that came after. So I'm going to just let the people, you say hi to the people.
Good morning, greetings.
All right, so yes, Pikey is not only a talk show host, he is a musician, and although it wasn't expressed there at the time, I hope you have your CD with you. Yes, and why I say that is like we have gifts, and sometimes our gifts are not known to many, but music plays a very important part of our lives. And just giving you that opportunity to have your CD available, I just want to ask you now, can you tell the people how they could obtain one of your CDs?
Well, right now, and for those who are here on the island, if you want to purchase one, you can actually meet me somewhere downstairs. We're upstairs of the Gallows Bay Post Office right now, but you can meet me downstairs somewhere in the parking lot. I'm up here in Gallows Bay, and we could, deal with that. When at the end of the program, I'll be finished about around 10:30 around that time, or somewhere a little after 10. I'll be finished, and if someone wants, so you could come up to the studio here while I'm finished with the program.
Okay, thank you for sharing. I just needed to give that plug out.
No problem.
Especially, last but not least, we had the West End Masqueraders.
Yes, West End Masqueraders. Yes.
Elder Asta Williams led the Masqueraders into the performance. And again, that day to me was just for us to set the tone, and it was definitely the energy that was present. And if those who don't know, like with the Masqueraders, it's a kind of spiritual energy that they bring, and we must remember who we are, and that is what has been lacking for many, many years. And it's time for us now to awaken that part within us, so that we could, as you mentioned, David Hamilton Jackson, what he started with the St. Croix Labor Union.
Back that such a great man was right here in our midst. 84, 84, so now we are a little dot at the globe, and we're producing such greatness. I mean, to me, this is what we, all of this, I'm saying, is what we be passing on, teaching to our children in the schools, man.
Right. And let me put emphasis on what St. Union, I mean, who they consisted of. It's amazing to know our history, okay? Because we had brothers and sisters from the various islands, okay, that actually made up the St. Croix Labor Union. And when people start to see that their family members from St. Kitts, from Antigua, from Puerto Rico, and other places who are part of St. Croix Labor Union.
And hold your thought right there, Shalima. Hold your thoughts. Carla, we have to take a station break, but just hold on. Just hold on, Carla. Just hold on, and we're going to get to you. Right now, we need to take a station break.
AM 970.
Anyway, you can put the call on hold.
Yep. This is Anthony.
Morning, hold please.
Roundtable and Marketplace.
Okay, so Facebook family, you're getting this live and with these radio and
You know,
stuff
the
like
thing
that.
is,
And
once we realize, like we were saying, I like what you said earlier, you know, but the thing is this, the ancestors are always with us.
they're always with us.
Always, you know, they're always with us. That's you know, so.
And
this is a message from the United States.
yes, and many people need to realize that sometimes, you know, when they lose a loved one, they feel that, you know, although they're not here physically, they are here spiritually, and you can always connect with them at any time. So they are a part of our ancestors, and they are alive in that spiritual way. And never feel alone at all, even though physically you might be alone, but spiritually they're there. And that's, I think, is a very missing component when we are dealing with
all those. You gotta watch what you say. You know, you gotta how you move. Everything you got to, you know, you got to be
open to it. You have to be open to receive it, to hear them and to acknowledge them. Because if you're not open and you close your third eye off, you close your energies off, then they can't connect with you, and that's what's happening.
And
so
on
all levels,
people don't believe it anymore, and so they just
say, "Oh, that's old time thing."
it's gone. Right, I mean, so you do what you want. It's become, you know, it's like. Oh, some people say things called nasty. It's become like the Wild West. Lawless. Everybody
you have to talk to them.
you know,
like
might is right. Everybody do their own thing, and you know.
You want something played off this now or no?
No, not right now. No, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait a little while.
yeah, after I leave, because I do have to.
Okay, I'll wait until
No,
Shalima
it's
leaves.
fine.
Yeah, that's the best. Yes, because I want to give you the thing.
Here's your host, Dimitri Pikey Copemann.
Yes, good morning, and welcome back.
That are going to get underway shortly. As a result of that depressurization, we have potable water service affected in several areas on the west end of the island, including Mars Hill, Wheel of Fortune, Smithfield, Two Brothers, and Frederickstead Town. These areas will remain with low water pressure and no water service until our repairs are completed later today. Again, a mainline leak has been discovered near Butthole Park in Frederickstead. We are mobilizing crews at this hour, having depressurized that line to facilitate repairs. Until the repairs are completed, residents and customers in the Mars Hill, Wheel of Fortune, Smithfield, Two Brothers, and Frederickstead Town areas will experience either low water pressure or no water service at all. We will make every effort to expedite these repairs and restore service to the customer.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Very
Great.
good.
Thank you for the opportunity, and we'll let you know if the restoration timeline changes.
Okay, very good.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Okay, you're welcome. Good. Yes, and folks, you heard that, right? That WAPA is going to work on a leak. There's a leak in a water line down near Bodo Park in Frederickstead. As a result of that, the public will be experiencing some difficulties with water shortage, or into a leak in the main line somewhere down near Bodo Park. And so in order to get it fixed, they had to depressurize the line, and so they should have it fixed sometime today, as Mr. Grio just indicated.
So, yes, so let me kind of wrap it up in a
Okay.
sense. So I want to thank also the committees that in getting our table together, the Agriculture Committee as well as the Education Committee. The Education Committee provided our bumper stickers, so you can also, if you're in support of UMOJA Caribbean Union, you can purchase bumper stickers if you would like to. And also we had cane and corn plants available at the table, and
People would pick and eat, the joints would be,
they showed them the cane.
the joints would be about long like this. But when you have these short joints, I think this was the cane that probably used to crush to get the juice.
I don't know.
I mean, you could eat it, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it's just that the joints are short. So I believe people, when you want to eat a piece of cane, generally people will go for the cane with the long joints like that.
Okay.
If somebody who know more about cane could call in and correct me if I'm wrong. But
And then that's
sure.
where molasses come from,
Yes,
So let's
of
also
course,
add that,
of course, of
from the
course.
sugar cane.
Yes, from the sugarcane
molasses,
juice.
okay?
That's right.
So yeah, that's another thing that can be produced from the sugar cane.
And we know that molasses is still a vital product, still being used, not just to make sugar, not just the sugar and the rum,
Right.
but molasses is not. Molasses was a mixture of molasses and some other things, mix up that day. So molasses, yes, people might not realize it, but yes,
In time, they
molasses
will.
as a product actually is still being used. I mean, still
Education component comes in, we must know, and it's just like, why should we plant food? Why should we pay attention to agriculture? If we don't, then it's like,
you want to starve.
exactly. So that in its simple sense is like very important in our lives. I would like to just close and just sharing the front page of our newspaper. Yes, we have an upgrade. It remains alive. That example brings to light what a person who has been miseducated or wise elders have been dismissed from sharing knowledge. The knowledge which was given during ancient times have been misused and abused, used to miseducate the population about their origin, language, science, and math. So instead of exceeding in areas that would improve themselves, the society and world, people find themselves trying to fit in or go along with others who dismisses wisdom from elders, especially ancient teachings. Just as the coconut tree which remains alive, so is that source which keeps us alive to find our roots. The teachings which were hidden from the masses are revealed and have been for a long time. It was just a matter of time for some people to realize or simply open one's first eye, intuition, to gain such knowledge. The everlasting sun shines by day and the everlasting moon shines at night. The energy to connect us exists. Unity is our strength, so let us use it. So just a diagram also showing that the roots can connect us throughout this world. And maybe at another time, but we can go very deep in this here as far as where we were and throughout the world for us to build on so that we could make a difference in our community. So with that said, I believe that is all. And again, I want to give thanks for your wisdom, okay, and sharing what you do with us. And I am faithful that if not in this particular time, the young people especially will become the wise ones and lead us in a better way. But we have our role to play right now, right this